Hi everyone, I'm Ken Ng. Here is some FAQ for today's session. What is your professional background?
I'm Sam Ting Tek Sen, a capital market entrepreneur with over 15 years of experience in cross-border finance, fintech structuring, and strategy M&A. I've worked across Malaysia, Singapore, and US on corporate finance, private placements, and listings.
What inspired you to create W Straight?
W Straits was born out of a desire to democratize access to institutional level investment opportunities and bridge Southeast Asia to global capital markets through innovation, discipline, and trust.
Would you describe your leadership style?
Strategic, hands-on, and accountable. I believe in leading from the front, especially when capital is involved. I don't delegate responsibility, I assume it.
What core principle guide your leadership?
Transparency, execution, risk management, and long-term alignment with stakeholders.
How do you respond to high pressure capital environments?
By staying focused on fundamentals, surrounding myself with credible investors, advisors, and ensuring investors' communications are consistent and data-driven.
What is the core vision of W Straight?
To become a Nasdaq-listed financial ecosystem group that integrates fintech, real estates, and digital lending infrastructures, while creating sustainable returns for investors through scalable acquisitions.
Why are you targeting Nasdaq?
Nasdaq represents the highest level of institutional visibility, valuation multiples, and global investors' access. It's where innovative finance belongs.
What is your IPO strategy?
We are pursuing a SPAC merger for expedite listing, regulatory efficiency, and investors' liquidities, followed by long-term organic and M&A-driven growth.
Who is guiding you capital market execution?
We are supported by Exchange Listing LLC, a US SPAC advisors as our principal advisor. Veronica Tang from HFU Capital, a private placement advisory in Malaysia, and Peter Goldstein from Capital Markets Legal Counsel.
What is the expected timeline for listing?
We targeting SPAC business combination in Q4 2025 with trading and liquidities in early 2026.
What is your current equity position?
I currently retain 100% ownership of W Straits Limited via R1 Capital. I have personally underwritten the company's early development and remain full aligned with all the investors.
Are you raising capital now?
Yes, we are currently raising a pre-PIPE private investment in private equity, bridge round in the form of convertible equity and profit shares with structured asset mechanism.
What type of investor are you targeting?
Family offices, early stage institutional funds, SPAC syndicate partners, and accredited high net worth individuals seeking pre-PIPE exposure with strong downside protection.
Is investor capital protector or escrow?
Yes, we use licensed custodians and offer term sheet with optional capital protection, fixed yield structures, or stage equity vesting.
How does W Straight generate revenue?
Our groups generate revenue through microlending, RRP, smart leasing, property yield management, asset management, and financial advisory fees. We prioritize cash generating verticals.
What is your 3 years revenue forecast?
We project a cumulative revenue of $1 by financial year 2027 with an EBITDA margin above 22% post-listing, driven by organic growth and acquisitions.
What's your investor value proposition?
We offer asymmetric upside via pre-PIPE access, institutional grade governance, and a Nasdaq exit route, all backed by real operations and strategic assets.
Are you planning to issue dividend?
Post-listing, we will assess yearly dividends based on earnings. Prior to that, we offer fixed income structures for early stage investors.
What is your M&A strategy?
Acquire undervalued, cash positive business with operational synergies and scale them via centralized fintech infrastructures and cross-border licensing advantage.
How do you structure acquisition?
Typically via share swaps, earnouts, or hybrid equity debt structures with profit guarantees and lock-in periods for sellers.
What type of company are you acquiring?
Fintech lenders, property leasing operators, payment gateway firms, and scalable tech-backed business with solid EBITDA.
How do you ensure post-merger integration?
We deploy a centralized compliance, finance, and IT infrastructures across all acquisitions with KPIs tied to performance-based vesting.
Are you open to JV modules or only full acquisitions?
We are flexible. JV, equity partnerships, and staggered buyouts are all on the table depending on deal structure and strategic alignment.
How can investors assess their positions?
Via the SPAC merger, subsequent NASDAQ liquidities, or structured repurchase agreements, some investors are also benefits from the fixed redemption windows.
Do you offer early buyback mechanism?
Yes, certain instruments include guaranteed buyback options with 12 and 24 months based on the milestones or investor distribution.
Will the share be tradable pre-listing?
We are facilitating internal matching or secondary placements under regulatory frameworks for early liquidities before public markets.
The expected holding period for optimal return.
Ideally, 18 to 36 months from entry to IPO for maximum upside. However, structured assets are available for short-term investors.
Is your exit plan realistic and enforceable?
Absolutely. All terms are legally documented with counsel and aligned with SPAC timelines, escrow agreements, and investors' protections.
What is your governance framework?
We operate under corporate governance with independent directors, quarterly audits, and also full investors reporting.
Who are your audit and legal partners?
Work with regional Big Six audit firms, US licensed SEC counsel, and capital markets legal teams for international compliance.
How do you mitigate legal or reputational risk?
By engaging third-party verification, maintaining full KYC, AML adherence, and implementing institutional-grade compliance policies.
Have you faced regulatory issues in the past?
On legacy partnership misalignments, but have since rebuilt it clean, forward-facing structures, and legal clarity.
What lesson did you learn from that company-related setbacks?
I learned that founder alignment, legal protection, and investors' first strategy are non-negotiable. Today, I structured everything with investor security as the core.
What's your personal mission statements?
To turn financial adversity with empowerment, first for myself, now for every investors who believe in this vision.
Do you plan to extend beyond Southeast Asia?
Yes, our focus includes United States, UAE, and Southeast Asia for institutional capital partnerships, licensing, and joint ventures.
Partnerships are in place now.
We have strategic relationships with tech giant, Tencent Cloud, and Alibaba Cloud, Exchange Listing LLC, RR1 Capital, Zagreb Stock Exchange, and various fintech ecosystem partners.
What motivates you beyond money?
Legacy. I want to prove that Southeast Asian founders can build NASDAQ listed globally recognized financial institutions.
Thank you for your Q&A section very much.
Yeah, thank you so much.